once a day that I would pray for you. I'd go and misbehave just so you'd notice too. Sneaking looks up and down from across the room. And damn, what a hell of a view. I feel good, you look great, I like you, I can't wait.
For this pullover we need a 3-ply yarn. I am using off-white color and 3 5-point hook, 4 stitch markers and a measuring tape. To begin, we need to make a loop. I am going to show you how to make a loop. Just make a slip knot and make chain 3. 1, 2, 3 and make double crochet into the first chain. This is our first loop. In the same way we are going to make total of 22 loops. 1, 2, 3. Yarn over, insert into the chain 1 and make a double crochet. 1, 2, 3. Yarn over, insert the hook into the first chain and make a double crochet. 1, 2, 3. Yarn over, insert the hook into the chain 1 and make a double crochet. Okay, I will meet you after making total of 22 loops. Make the 24 loops. Just measure it and it will end at 15 to 16 inches. So just make sure you are using the 3-ply yarn for 3 and 3.5 hook. If you are using a 4-ply or 6-ply or whatever ply you are using, just count the measurements and adjust the loops according to the measurement. If your loops coming at 15 inches, 22 or 18, or just divide the loops according to sleeves and front and back. Now just take a loop in such a way that it will not twist over and slip stitch into the first chain. Now slip stitch into the 3 chains or into the loop and make chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Now we are going to start from this point. Just chain 3 and double crochet into the same space. This makes our first V stitch. Now chain 1 and yarn over and make a V stitch into the second loop. Chain 1 and double crochet into the same space. This makes our second V stitch. Chain 1 after that and V stitch into the next loop. Chain 1, Now we are at our back point, back side, so we need 6 stitches, V stitches in 6 loops. Chain 1, chain 1 and double crochet into the same space. Chain 1, now I have just made 1 2 3 4 5 6 V stitches for the back. Now next loop will be over corner. Now just chain 1 and make a V stitch by making double crochet, chain 1 and double crochet. This is V stitch. Now again chain 1 and make a double crochet into the same space. This in this point corner we will going to increase chain 1, now place a stitch marker into the space, chain 1 space. This will be our first corner. Now again for the sleeve part we are going to make 4 V stitches in next 4 loops, 1 2 3 4. Chain 1, chain 1, double crochet, chain 1, chain 1, chain 1, and this is our last V stitch for the sleeve section. Chain 1, now you can see 1 2 3 4. Now next loop will be over corner, next corner. Now again make 2 V stitches with the chain 1 in between, chain 1, and again in the same point make a V stitch, and place a stitch marker in that point. Now chain 1 and V 6 V stitches in next 6 loops for the back part, sorry, front part. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now next loop is going to be over corner, chain 1, V stitch, chain 1 for the space, and again we stitch in the same loop. Now chain 1 and place a stitch marker in chain 1 space. Now we have total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 left. 4 for the sleeves and 1 loop for the corner. We have 1 loop left. 1, 2, 3, 4 for the second sleeve, and this will be going over corner. Now make 2 V stitches with a chain 1 in between. V stitch, chain 1 for the space and V stitch. Now at this point we are not going to make chain 1, instead we will make a slip knot into the chain 2 and just place a stitch marker into the last corner. Now you can see for our front, our back and our sleeves, and these are our corners. Now chain 2 and turn. Now our repeat row number 2 is going to start. Now this chain 2, I will count this chain 2 as a double crochet. Now yarn over and make a bobble stitch. Just pull up the loop, pull through 2, again pull up the loop, pull through 2, pull up the loop, pull through 2, pull up the loop, pull through 2, pull up the loop, pull through 2. 5 incomplete double crochets. Now if you want to make it a bigger, you can make a 1 or 2 incomplete double crochet if you want to. I am going to make 6 incomplete double crochets. Just make this bobble a little bigger. Now pull up all the 7 loops, and if you push the stitch from this side, you can see a bobble on the other side. This side will be our good side. Now chain 1 and take out the stitch marker, and this is our corner. Make a V stitch into the V stitch, chain 1, and now insert the stitch marker into the space between the V stitch. Now again chain 1 and make a bobble stitch into the next V stitch. Now pull through all the 7 loops and push it so it will become a bobble on the other side. Now chain 1 and make a double crochet into the space between the V stitches. Now chain 1 and again make a bobble stitch into the V stitch. Now pull all through the 7 loops, push it on the other side and make a chain 1. Now make a double crochet into the space between the V stitches. Now in the same way make a bobble stitch in between the V stitches, and in the chain space work double crochet, chain 1 and make a bobble stitch. Pull up all the 7 loops, chain 1, work double crochet into the chain space between the V stitches, chain 1 and work bobble stitch into the V stitch. Chain 1 and work double crochet into the space between the V stitches, and in the same way chain 1, chain 1 and work double crochet, chain 1 and work bobble stitch into the V stitch, chain 1, and we are at our corner. Just take out the stitch marker and make a V stitch into the chain 1 space, chain 1 and put it back. Now chain 1 and work bobble stitch into the V stitch, now in the same way work bobble stitch into the V stitch, and into the space work double crochet, and at every corner make a V stitch, and I will meet you here. Now that I have made a bobble stitch row, now again this is our first, this chain 2 we counted as double crochet. We just make a slip stitch under this chain 2 and turn. Now you can see we have corners, and in the corners we make V stitch and all the bobble stitch into the V stitch, and into the space make a double crochet. Now just V stitch row will be on our good side, and the bobble stitch row will be on our wrong side, and we can see a little pop up bubble which is on the good side. Now make a chain 3, chain 2 as double crochet and chain 3 as chain 1 space between the V stitch. Now make a double crochet into the space where the chain 3 comes out, and this is over first V stitch. This is over V stitch. First chain 1 after every V stitch and skip this a bobble stitch and make a V stitch on to the top of double crochet. Chain 1 and double crochet into the same stitch. Chain 1, skip this bobble stitch and make a V stitch on the top of next double crochet. In short, we have to make a V stitch on the top of every double crochet, and we skip this bobble stitch. Now chain 1 and make a V stitch on the top of double crochet. Chain 1, V stitch on the top of double crochet. Chain 1 and chain 1, make a V stitch on the top of double crochet. Chain 1 and now this is repeat row number 1. We count this loop first as a foundation row and bobble stitch will be over repeat row number 2, and now these two rows are repeat after each one another. Now make a V stitch on the top of double crochet, chain 1 and now we are at our corner. Just make a double crochet on the top of this double crochet or the one V stitch on the top of V stitch. Now chain 1 and take the stitch marker out and make the next double crochet of V stitch into the chain space. This is over V stitch. Now this in this corner we are going to increase, so chain 1 as a chain space and double crochet into the same space and chain 1 and double crochet on the top of next double crochet. So you can see we just made a double crochet on the top and the of one V stitch and chain 1 and double crochet of the same V stitch into the chain 1 space or V stitch previous row. In the previous row we made V stitch. Now insert the stitch marker into the chain 1 space and again the double crochet into the chain 1 space and on the top of next double crochet to make a V stitch. Now after every V stitch make a chain 1 and V stitch on the top of next double crochet. Now in the same way we just repeat over rows. V stitch on the top of every double crochet and in the corner just make a double crochet on the top of double crochet and double chain 1 and double crochet on into the chain 1 space to make a V stitch. Now chain 1 space and again double crochet into the chain 1 space and chain 1 and chain double crochet on the top of next double crochet of the V stitch. Now we will repeat these two rows again and again until we reach the armhole depth to 4 inches, 4 to 5 inches. Now at every corner we have to increase and in the bobble stitch we have to make a V stitch in the corner. Okay, I will meet you after I reach the depth at 4 inches. Now that I have made the yoke part, and if we measure it, it its armhole depth is approx 4 inches and the chest is 9 inches. So it's the perfect measurement of 6 to 9 months baby. Now it's time to separate the sleeves and body part. Now I have just slip stitch. I have made total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 rows. Now slip stitch and turn. Slip stitch, chain 2, 1 and 2 and turn. Now yarn over and make a bobble stitch into the space, into the V stitch. Yarn over and chain 1. Now make a double crochet into the chain space at the corner. Now make chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Now skip all the sleeve section here to here, and now I am going to make a double crochet into the next chain space. As I work bobble stitch on the wrong side, so just turn it to the wrong side. Now yarn over and make a double crochet into the chain space. Now this is our sleeves part, and now make a regular stitch pattern from here. Chain 1 and make a double crochet into the space between the V stitch, chain 1 and make a bobble stitch. Chain 1 and make a regular stitch pattern until we reach to the next sleeve section. Okay, I will meet you at this point. Now that I have reached the other end, I have made all the front part or back, whatever you count it. Now just make a bobble stitch into the, this is our increasing corner, these V stitches and the chain space. Now make a bobble stitch into the V stitch. and pull through all the 7 loops, chain 1. Now take out the stitch marker, yarn over and make a double crochet into the chain space, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and skip all the sleeve part and just take out the stitch marker and make a double crochet into the chain 1 space, chain 1, and a regular stitch pattern continues. Chain 1 and double crochet into the next space. Chain 1 and bobble stitch into the V stitch. Okay, I will meet you at this point. Now I'm at the last bobble stitch. Chain 1 and slip stitch in under the double crochet. Chain 3 and turn. Now I am at the good side of the pullover. Now make a double crochet into the chain, into the space where the chain comes out to make a V stitch. Chain 2 counts as double crochet, chain the third chain counts as a chain 1 and a double crochet. Now chain 1 and make a V stitch on the top of every double crochet. Chain 1 and now continue the pattern until you reach the chain 3 where we made a chain 3 in the previous row. Now I'm at the separation point where we separate the sleeves and body part. Now chain 1 and make a double crochet on the top of this double crochet that we made in the chain space in the previous row. Chain 1 and make a V stitch on the top of double crochet. Chain 1 and skip this chain 3 and make a double crochet on the next double crochet, sorry, V stitch on the next double crochet. Now continue the pattern until you reach the other side of the pullover. Okay, I will meet you at this point. Now I am at the other side of the pullover. Now make a V stitch on the top of double crochet, chain 1 and chain 1 and skip the chain 3 and make a V stitch on the top of next double crochet. Now without chaining 1 I am going to slip stitch into the chain 2 to end this row. Chain 2 and turn. Now make a bobble stitch into the V stitch. Chain 1 and continue the stitch pattern all along the way. Double crochet, chain 1 and bobble stitch. Now continue this stitch pattern until you reach at your desired length. I am going to make it 10 inches long. If we count from here, now I am at 5. Now at the 9.5 I will end up this stitch pattern and continue with the ribbing part. Okay, I will meet you at this point by continuing the same stitch pattern. Now I have made the body part and it's approximate 10 inches long. Now I am going to do ribbing. For ribbing I am going to change my hook size 3.5 mm to 3 mm. Now make a chain 3, 1, 2, 3 and make a double crochet into the space. And make a double crochet on the top of bobble stitch. double crochet into the space, double crochet on the top of double crochet, double crochet into the space right after the double crochet, double crochet on the top of double crochet, bobble stitch. Now make a double crochet into the spaces as I described. Now I will meet you at this point. Now I have completed a row of double crochet. Now I am going to make a slip stitch into the chain 3. Now the next row will be over front post and back post double crochet. Now yarn over and insert the hook behind the double crochet and pull up the loop and pull through 2 and pull through 2. Now yarn over and insert the hook from the back of the double crochet and push the double crochet and pull up the loop. This is back post double crochet, pull through 2 and pull through 2. Now yarn over front post double crochet, yarn over and back post double crochet. Now yarn over front post double crochet, now yarn over and back post double crochet. In the same way, when you completed the row of front and back post double crochet, again make a front post double crochet, back post double crochet without turning your work. Front post double crochet, back post, front post, back post, front, and in the same way make total of 5 to 6 rows of front and back post double crochet. I'm at the row number 2 and 4 more to go. Okay, I will meet you after making the front and back post double crochets row. Now that I have done with the ribbing of the lower part, and I also made a one sleeves and a ribbing for the neck. Just find the spaces between and put a double crochet into the spaces and work front and back post double crochet as we did in the lower part of the body. Now I am going to show you how to do the other sleeve. Now just now you can see a sleeve, you can see a space. There are more spaces. We have to deal with these spaces in such a way that our pattern continues. This is the space where we add a double crochet, and this is the V stitch where we put bobble stitch. So I am going to mark the point where we add the bobble stitch, and same in the other way of the other side of the sleeve parallel to this. This is the space where we put double crochet, so in the space where we add a bobble stitch, so put a stitch marker. Now in between the spaces we have to deal with that So our pattern continues without any disturbance. So this is the space where we add double crochet, as uh, double crochet comes after the bubble stitch. So this is the space where we add bobble stitch. So put a stitch marker after. Now this is the space where we add double crochet. So this is the space where we put a bobble stitch, and just ignore the other spaces. This is the space where we add double crochet. So our pattern continues without any disturbance. So we are going to attach the yarn at this point. Just change the hook to 3.5 mm, as this is the row of on that comes on the front side of the sweater. So we are going to attach the yarn on the wrong side, so that our bubble stitch row comes at the wrong side. So just make a slip knot and attach the yarn by inserting the hook into the space, and attach the yarn by making chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Now this yarn over and make a bobble stitch into the space where we add a stitch marker. This is the space where we made a double crochet. Now this is the space where we add a double crochet. Chain 1, and this is the space where we add a bobble stitch. Chain 1 and work double crochet. Chain 1, and our pattern continues, as in the V stitch we add bobble stitch, and in the um, space where we add double crochet, and we just came here and made a double crochet, bobble stitch, double crochet, bobble stitch, and this is the double crochet. And now turn the work and make the regular V stitch row, and then turn and make a um, sleeve pattern until you reach the desired length. I'm not going to show you the next step. I will show you the sweater after the final result.
There was once a day that I would pray for you. I'd go and misbehave just so you'd notice too. Sneaking looks up and down from across the room. And damn, what a hell of a view. I feel good, you look great, I like you, I can't wait. A first time, a first date. You're so fine, I'm so late. You sip wine, I drink straight.